you have spent a lot of time reading about and researching and speaking to powerful people. Who do you think really runs the world?
You're going to go there, huh, with the question. Who do I think runs the world? So I used to ask the question, I said, who's got the most power in America? Is it Congress? Is it president? Is it the CEOs of virtual governments? We're talking Google, Twitter, Facebook, those guys, Amazon, or is it billionaires? Okay, the most richest man in the world. Who's got the most power? And you'd be amazed how few people said president, because they come and go. The famous quote with Putin that he says, American presidents, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to be there 4 to 8 years. Some suits are running, and run the country behind closed doors. And he's got a very good point when he says something like that, Putin. But to me, there are a lot of alliances being built. So if you and I were to think about aspirational type of people, okay, you know how they say, it's almost like I'm so much in a prison jail, everybody's watching what I'm doing, I want to break the rules a little bit to see what I'm capable of doing. Okay, so let's go process and dissect some of these guys that make all the money in the world, okay? You become a billionaire, and you're still dangerously ambitious, not from a good place, but more selfish place. Okay, now you work 10. If you're a billionaire, you're the best at what you do in your space for the most part, or you help build the best in that space for the most part. Okay, maybe your marriage didn't work out. Maybe you're not the best father in the world. And you're like, well, I want more control. I want more power. I can't be a president. I don't want to be a president because if I run for president, they're going to reveal the things that I've done in my life. And God forbid, if that gets all the light, I don't want that. That's embarrassing. But you know what I'm going to do? What if I can take over the world? Aren't there other people like me that are driven by wanting to take over the world? What if we could make the world one place and we make all the decisions for everybody? Because I'm probably one of the smartest people in the world. And that conversation's taking place. Again, you really start having that godlike figure. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with George Soros. In one of the interviews he gave to LA Times, he says, I always fancied myself with being a god. Fancied myself with being a god. This is an LA Times interview 20 plus years ago. If you type in George Soros, LA Times God, it's the most disturbing interview to read about this guy.
A lot of people are very skeptical about him, right? He's like the boogeyman of a number of conspiracies.
How many people have you heard say, I always fancied myself with being a god? He says, but what's great about where I'm at right now is it's no longer a dream.
It's not fun. And yet, the more that I read and the more that I learn about things, the more there seems to be there.
People are offended by different things. Some people being offended in their deepest insecurities, they're willing to use their ambitions to go to certain levels that at that point, they're not thinking about the consequences of ruining a lot of people's lives. That's not something they're thinking about at that level. So most people who are offended, they do what? They forget about it and they move on. Some of these guys want control. Some of these guys want to make decisions for you. Some of these guys on the money side, at least they go and make money to get power. Some people don't go make money to get power. Some people, Klaus Schwab, they're like, no, I'm not going to go make money to get power. I'm going to get power by creating laws and thinking I know what's best for you. When you think about what meetings in the world happens where all the powerful people show up, you got the G20, you got the World Economic, you got Davos, you got all these guys that come together, you got NATO, so NATO could be like, well, NATO's original, when the 12 or 14 countries were part of NATO, what was it really all about? To fight USSR.
In your opinion, do you think that NATO, WEF, WHO, that's those people, there's no further up set of strings that are playing the ventriloquized game behind those ones? Do you think that that's where a lot of power actually lies?
I don't know. Think about what things people are most addicted to, okay? Addicted personalities, video games, porn, sex, cocaine, ecstasy, weed, steroids, partying, all of that stuff. But what's one of the most addicting things? Many of those guys can't get power. Are you kidding me? Power is like power porn. Porn of having a lot of power and getting a look in people that look at you that are afraid of you. Some people love that. Some people love that. The quote, like, if you really want to test someone's character, give them power. I mean, some people really love having power. Those people I believe are out there. Some of them are 100% money people because money talks. And you can have a lot of influence.
You need funds to do anything, right?
You do. It's going to be the money people. But there's also the other power players behind closed doors that there's a lot of those guys that are the brains behind the faces that we see. And most of the times, the best E.F. Huttons, no one ever finds out who they were. No one ever finds out who those guys are.